Yes, I.
Hello,
Hello. Yes,
Bianca.
James. Can you please lower the music, the background music? Hello.
Okay.
Yes, Sir James, I was the one who messaged you.
Yeah.
Could I possibly get to hear you say your last name so I'll be able to say it as well?
Okay, it's Nyantechi.
Nyantaki. Yes.
Okay,
Ooh.
well, I'm okay. I'm okay with however you
Okay.
pronounce it.
Okay,
I,
I
I
will
don't
try
I
my
don't have a
best, sir.
problem with it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome.
as the sunshine comes from the east, till the light of the dark is coming. We are all up in our eyes, we are all up in our heart, we are all up in our mind, under the same sky. Not only one in blood and land, not only one on skin's color and language. We have one spirit, we're one in struggle. Let's reach our dream together. We can, we are young together. Hey, yeah, hey, it's time to get up. Hold a hand, feel somebody. Set to go, we step together. One spirit to go. Great. Hey, hey, not only one in blood and land, not only one on skin's color and language. We have one spirit, we're one in struggle. Let's reach our dream together. We can, we are young together. Hey, it's time to get up. Hold a hand, feel somebody. Set to go, we step together. One spirit to go. Great. Hey, we are the winner generation. Lift as high as you can. Hold as much as you can. Pain is beautiful as you can. Breathe the best into the world.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on time. We will be starting in a few minutes. So before the program begins, please be reminded of the following house rules that will be sent in the chat as well.
That's right. So let's go over the house rules really quickly. So first of all participants must turn off their microphones upon entry in the Zoom call. And all participants will get the chance to turn on their microphones only when invited, of course, by the moderator. Now, in addition, please feel free to change your Zoom backgrounds to the ones to be provided here in the chat box, of course. And we appreciate your kind cooperation to please change your name format upon entry to the following. So for participants, start with participant dash your first name and then your surname. As for our dear speakers, please change your name here on the Zoom call to speaker dash your first name and then of course your surname. Now this event will be recorded and live streamed on the ASEAN Youth Organization Facebook page. And of course, during the Q&A session, participants are expected to, of course, be lively and actively involved while asking questions during the Q&A portion. They can raise their hands, or you guys can actually raise your hands and open your microphones to introduce yourselves using the following format. So please give us your name, which institution or affiliation you are from, and of course, your question. So for example, I am Tony from De La Salle University, and this is my question, that sort of thing. Now, the organizing committee will accommodate as many questions as possible during the time period, but we'd like to have everyone note that you must be, of course, respectful and mindful of your statements and or questions. Next, the e-certificates will only be provided for participants who join the Zoom event until the end, and those participants who are able to answer our evaluation feedback form with the code word. Now, the organizing committee will send a link to the evaluation feedback form in the chat box before the webinar ends. Of course, everyone has to stick around. Meanwhile, the e-certificates will be provided for the participants around 14 days to a month after the event. And last, and this is of course very important, please respect each other, do engage in our webinar, and we hope that you'll find a lot of interesting insights from the event. Right, and in the meantime, I'd like to ask everyone, how are you all doing? It is a very breezy Saturday, at least, for us here in Batangas. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are coming from other places, am I right? Could I get any interactions in chat box maybe?
Yeah, we would like to know where you guys are from, where you guys are at right now. So maybe you can have some answers in the chat box.
Pasig City, yes. I've been there quite a few times, and it's always nice. This time around, a lot of places to check out. What about the other places? Oh, Iligan City. Iligan City, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I have heard a lot about the tourist spots there. Nueva Ecija, other wonderful places. Bianca, have you been to any of these places?
I've been to Iloilo before. Oh, good afternoon from Vietnam. Good afternoon.
Wow, good afternoon from Ghana to our speaker, which we will be introducing later, of course. And other people coming from Bicol and everything. Okay, so seems that we have a very diverse set of participants, right, Bianca?
Yes, exactly. So glad you guys all made it here today.
All right, so I guess we can get things started, am I right?
Yeah, let's get started. All right. So a wonderful day to you all. Welcome to the Environmental Stewardship Forum, brought to you by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines. I am Bianca Andal.
And I am Tony Lindog, and today we will be your hosts.
Now, with that said, let's start. To kick off the event, allow us to call upon Dr. Alex Reyes for the opening remarks.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here to represent ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines as the chair for programs and partnerships. Thank you very much, Eleanor, for inviting me and everyone. Of course, I'd like to greet each and every one of you happy Saturday afternoon. It is indeed a wonderful time to talk about climate action. It is very relevant as we all need to really take care of our world. We only have one planet, and therefore we really need to look at this and take care of it in a way that we bring awareness, not just in our homes, but also to our community and the rest of our country. So as an educator, I am very much involved with climate action, and I'd like to commend each one of you for joining us. It is indeed very good for the youth to really take part in learning about the environment, biodiversity, life below water, the sustainable goals. And this avenue is really a way for us to help others understand why it is very important for us to move forward and to look at how we can stop using a lot of greenhouse gases and reduce our carbon footprint and things like that. Our speakers will be talking about it more later, so I won't, talk about it now. So I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. Good afternoon. And of course, I have some friends here that are joining us actually from Egypt as well as from Manila. So welcome to everybody, and I hope that you will have a wonderful time with us. Over to you, Bianca.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Alex Reyes, for your lovely opening remarks. Now, I know everyone is excited, but first, let's give way for some house rules so that we can have a smooth and enjoyable event. So may we please call on Pauline Cortez for the house rules?
So, hi everyone. As you saw, we already played the video a while ago. So, for those who are early, thank you for being early. But for those who weren't able to come on, who just came in now, I'll be repeating the house rules for everyone. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon. First things first, of course, please, all participants must turn off their microphone upon entry in the Zoom. Participants will get the chance to turn on their microphone only when invited by the moderator. So in addition, please also feel free to change your Zoom background to the one that we will provide later on in the chat. Second, we also appreciate your cooperation in changing your name into the format as seen on the screen or as that has been sent in the chat box. So for participants, please change your name into participant dash your name. For partner organizations who have entered into partnerships with us, please change to your organization name dash your name. Then for the speakers, speaker dash your name. Then for those who are part of our team, of course, please input your roles dash your name. Third, this event will be recorded and live streamed on the ASEAN Youth Organization page. So if you're here with us in the Zoom or you're here with us now live, hello everyone and welcome. Fourth, during the Q&A session, participants are expected to be actively involved and ask questions during the Q&A portion by raising their hand and opening the microphone to introduce themselves. So again, as mentioned a while ago, please introduce your name, yourselves with your name, your institution, and the question you want to ask. Plus, if you have it addressed to someone specific, if you want to, or just a general question. And as much as possible, we will accommodate as many questions as we can. Fifth, e-certificates will only be provided for participants who join the Zoom event until the end and are able to answer our evaluation feedback form. Please also note that it will take some time before we send the e-certificates, around 14 days to a month. And lastly, please respect everyone and each other and do engage actively in the event. So we hope you find some interesting insights and have a lot of fun. So thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you for that, Pauline. Now, we can't have an online panel without a group of speakers. So, let's get to know them. Tony, if you could do the honors.
Gladly, Bianca. All right. So our first speaker for today is, of course, Mr. Dan Renner. Now, Mr. Renner has been a racing sailboat crewman, a business owner since 16, and an ex-US Navy mechanical and electrical technician, and of course, trainer. While working his computer service business in 1995, he chanced upon an engine fuel burn efficiency enhancing device. Quite the mouthful, but it is very impressive. Now, in 2009, he sold his business and started working on research and development full-time. The result is that the highly effective, government verified, corporate proven, heavily tested and patented low-cost invention called the carbon cutter. That is actually quite a cool name. Now, he has been working on getting projects started around the world in an effort to assist countries in meeting their United Nations NDC and SDG goals for the year 2030 and beyond.
Next, we have Sir James Nyantaki. Mr. James Nyantaki is an environmental engineer and consultant who is passionate about nature conservation and environmental sustainability. He is also the founder of Climate Change Crusaders in Uganda, Africa.
Right, so our third speaker is Sir Irens Murao, the National Vice Chairperson of Angat Kabataan ng Pilipinas, a youth organization that strives to help both the community and the environment through its advocacies.
The next speaker is Dr. Lorenzo Sablay, a medical professional and an advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Through his work, he aims to create a positive impact in his community through the promotion of healthy and sustainable progress.
Finally, we have Mr. Chito Arceo Jr. Mr. Chito is currently the National Education Coordinator of Youth Advocates for Climate Action Philippines, or YACAP, and the president for the Abacan River and Angeles Watershed Youth Council Incorporated, otherwise known as Araw Youth. As a youth climate activist, he calls for the protection of watersheds in the country and, of course, climate justice for all. He also advocates for climate education in order to inform the youth on the severity of our climate crisis.
Oh, we have word that due to some unforeseen circumstances, Mr. Chito would not be able to make it today. But of course, we can still listen to our other lovely speakers and learn from their insights as well.
That's right.
Now, given the order of introduction a while ago, this will also serve as the order for presentation of the speakers. Therefore, may we please call on Mr. Dan Renner to share their 5-minute presentation. Mr. Dan, I think there are some technical difficulties happening, but I'm excited to hear more about the talk we have today. So,
That's right. Before anything else, we'd like to ask, Mr. Renner, are you there?
yes.
If
Miss-
you're speaking, we have a bit of difficulty hearing you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can ask, Tony, maybe we can ask some of our participants right now, maybe what they would want to learn in this forum, maybe what their expectations are.
Right. Or maybe some of our participants might actually know something about environmental stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
So would anyone in the audience like to, while of course we are waiting for Mr. Renner, would anyone like to share their thoughts on environmental stewardship? Like, what do you know about it?
Yeah. You can either unmute or you can say so in the chat.
That's right. You can even raise your hands and let us know that you want to answer. Anyone from the audience? No? Any takers? Oh, wonderful answer, Miss Eleanor. Looking forward to how the youth can help in environmental protection in their community. That's right. The youth are, of course, the future of not just things like society, but of course also for the environment, right, Bianca?
Truly. Especially in an organization like ASEAN Youth, I'm sure we have so many youths in so many different countries who are willing and able and want to help, no?
Oh, that's right. Hello, Mr. Renner. Hi. Are you here with us?
Hello, Mr. Renner. We do not hear you, sir.
At the moment,
At
yes.
the moment.
Yes, of
But
course,
we can
if
see
you're
you.
saying something on your mic, we can't really hear you due to technical difficulties. So while we wait for Mr. Renner to sort out his technicals, would anyone else like to share their thoughts, or maybe you can also tell us what you're excited to learn about today? Aside from environmental stewardship, we're covering a lot of topics, or maybe there are some topics in mind that you want to hear about while we wait for Mr. Renner, of course. Smart cities. Okay.
Wow, smart cities. An interesting concept. Tony, what do you think about when you hear smart cities?
Okay, first off the top of my head, when I think of smart cities, I think sustainable ones, ones that of course help tone down greenhouse emissions, maybe even cities with different, like I'd say, built-in facilities that absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But that's just off the top of my head. I'm not actually as well versed in the concept of smart cities, but hopefully we'll be enlightened on that maybe even a bit later.
Oh, here's an answer. I'll read it out loud. I think being an environmental steward means having a perspective of ecocentrism, where we focus on studying the sustainability and balance of our environment without promoting
Anthropocentrism, yes.
Anthropocentrism. Oh, interesting.
And another answer is amazing to see young people here who are very interested in environmental stewardship. Hopefully, we can get young people to take professions that are more central to environmental causes. That's actually a very good point. Like these days, especially with the expansions in technology and of course societal progress, hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more jobs. Mr. Renner.
Mr. Renner?
Trying again. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Mr. Renner.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah,
Right,
sometimes that happens. So well.
You
no
have
worries,
the floor,
Mr.
sir.
Renner. Of course.
Okay. All right. So I'll try this again. Let me see. Where am I? I'm on the wrong screen. I apologize. I have multiple screens here. Okay, so I am supposed to be hopefully giving an idea of what environmental stewardship is actually all about, and I hope I can do that to somebody's satisfaction anyway. So let us go. Slide 2, please. Hello.
Whoever's in charge of the PowerPoint.
Sorry,
okay.
hold on. It wouldn't move. Let me try that again.
Okay. If it's not working, I can share from here. There you go. It's alive. Okay. So one of the things, I've been around a while, as you can tell from the color of my hair. And one of the things that I've learned is that the basic item of any field, any sector, anything, any point of interest is going to be the words associated with that. So let's start off with environmental. Environmental is defined as relating or associated with the environment. Yeah, well, that's kind of a circular definition. So let's go to environment. What is an environment? So the environment is a combination of external physical conditions that affect the influence, the growth, the development, the behavior, and the survival of organisms. Organisms can be anything from a one-cell amoeba to an elephant or a whale. So anything external to that organism that may have something to do with its survival, that will be its environment. All right. So the second word being stewardship, what is that? It's the way in which someone organizes and takes care of something. So environmental stewardship then Can I have slide 3? Sorry. Environmental stewardship then is taking care of the external physical conditions, and that can be any areas, ocean, air, land. So you can be working on air pollution, you can be working on plastic pollution, you can be working on groundwater pollution, and maybe not even pollution. Maybe you're lucky enough to be working in an area that isn't polluted, and you're taking care of what is external to that particular sector or field or whatever that you're doing. So environmental stewardship is taking care of an area. You are taking responsibility and saying, okay, this area is mine, I'm going to take care of it. That's environmental stewardship. Okay, slide. Thank you. So when you're going to take care, be responsible over the use and protection of an environment, this is one thing you may want to look at. Environmental stewardship refers to responsible use and protection of the natural environment through active participation in conservation efforts and sustainable practices by individuals, small groups, nonprofit organizations, federal agencies, and other collective networks. In other words, it can be a group that you're joining. You don't have to do this all yourself. It can be any sort of group. It can be just your neighbors. Hey, we want to take care of our street. Anything, right? Is you're taking care of an environment. That street is the environment where you live, and you do count as an organism. Okay, so next screen, please. So now notice that none of the above definitions have to do with complaining, with fighting, with trolling, arguing. They just don't have to do with that. Protecting sometimes could come under fighting, but generally no. Protecting is just protecting, making sure it's safe. That's all. Making something good, clean, non-polluted, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with any of these four. They all have to do with doing something about it. So you have, if especially seeing as you're here, most likely you have the intention to help. And that intention is very, very honorable. And the way you go about helping is by doing something. Simple as that. So you look around and see something that could be better. That would be doing something, make it better. All right, next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. Whoop. Thank you. Okay, so what could that be? What could your it be? All right, again, this could be water. You see too much plastic in the ocean. You see too many nets. You see whatever. You want to grow more plant life, more seaweed down in the ocean. Whatever it could be. You find a way to do that the way what you want to do. You see gray skies, reduce that gray. Please don't start another pandemic just to make clear skies. If you see land being used badly, water tables are getting polluted, whatever, find a way to do something about it, right? Don't just complain, don't just fight, don't just troll. Do something about it. Otherwise, you're not being an environmental steward. So what else could that be? Anything, honestly. Next slide, please. But the point is, you find a way to stop whatever bad thing is happening, and preferably find a way to permanently end it. that, that doesn't do damage to any other sector, preferably. The idea here is there's an optimum scene, optimum being the best, right? There's an optimum scene or situation or setting, or whatever you may call it, that maybe is not the case right now in the environment you're looking at. All right, well, how do you... Hello. All right, so you find a way to do something about it, right? That will make that scene, that situation, that sector, that area of your interest, that will make that better. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of solutions that are not solutions, or solutions that do more damage in another area that you're not seeing. Way back there, but right here, it might look okay. Please don't get into something like that. I speak from a little bit of experience in that area. We have, well, I'll tell you what, let me go for the, what can I point out? A lot of people like electric vehicles, for example. Electric vehicles are nice. They don't pollute us on the surface as much as a combustion vehicle does. But the problem with it that most people don't look at is the environmental damage that's done to create one of these vehicles. I'm not going to soapbox you right now. I'm not going to do that. But if you actually took a look at those things, they're not the solution that everybody would hope they would be. They're okay, but they do a lot of other damage along the routes to doing what good they do. All right, so take a look at the logic of your area, the it's for you. Take a look at that, find something that will fix it, make it better, that does not harm another area. So in other words, you're going to have to look at these things, your solution well. Look, make sure it's actually a solution. All right, next page, please. Next slide. Now, I've been pointing out you a lot here. The purpose is what should, whoop, I think you went too far. Can you go back one slide? Okay, thank you. Oop, no, it went too far again. Should be on slide 8. There you go. Okay. So in other words, find a way, and find a way that's, there's a phrase, locking the barn door after the horse runs away. The purpose of that phrase is, if the horse has already run away, what good is locking the barn door? It might look good to the neighbors, but it didn't do you actually any good. Okay, you get the idea. So look at the logic of your solution. Make sure it's not going to just be a cover up. Make sure it's not going to just be a temporary cleanup. Find a solution. It's something you're interested. I know you can. Everything has a solution. All right, next slide, please. So again, this has to do with you. Is what are you interested? What makes you tick? What makes you the bells ring? It's your area. It's your area of interest. So guess something that take a look at something that you like, an environment that means something to you, and go in there and take care of it. Be an environmental steward in that sector, in that area. Yeah. Then you'll do good. I promise you, you'll do good, because it will be something you're interested in. So there's a way. You have interest, obviously, or you wouldn't be looking at that sector. So I mean, giving idea in what I do, I reduce emissions to a large extent, as was mentioned in my little introduction there. Yeah, I invented a device that reduces emissions greater than 500 times greater than buying a new electric vehicle, which on average costs about $50,000 US. Right? So I can reduce 500 times more emissions for that same amount of money. That's something that is close to my heart, to something that I care about. I want to create a big effect as I can. I'm doing the most I can in the area that I am interested. Do the same. Rock on. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dan Renner. That was actually a wonderful presentation, and I really like the emphasis on our action, our contribution. And as the future of the planet, it's really up to us as the youth to really act on things, right, Bianca?
Truly. I also really like the part in the short presentation about finding a way that we know our communities best, and we know what best suggestions, practices that we can tell our community and that we can do ourselves to help be better environmental stewards.
All right. And with that said, that was a wonderful presentation, Mr. Renner. Now, we'd like to call on our next speaker, Dr. Lorenzo Sablay. Mr. Sablay, are you here?
Hello, good morning or good afternoon rather. Thank you so much to our hosts. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yes, amazing, amazing. So let me just get a good spot. I'm so sorry. Yes. So can you see me now? All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Mabuhay. My name is Lorenzo. I'm a healthcare professional and also a climate advocate and leader from the Philippines. Currently, I am in Egypt. It's the last day of COI 17, which is the UN Climate Change Conference of Youth. It's being held here in the beautiful city of Sharm el Sheikh. It's the Conference of Youth to the lead up to COP, or the Conference of Parties 27, also here in Sharm el Sheikh. So this is a very interesting topic, and I would just like to congratulate and thank everyone in the ASEAN Youth Organization, all of the partners and the collaborators, and everyone who is here, because really, we have to really echo the truth that climate change is here. In fact, we have a climate crisis. And in other references, it will tell you that we have a multiple crisis, a health crisis, we have an economic crisis, and a planetary or climate crisis. And going to the topic of environmental stewardship, it really goes back into the word action. All right. So we go back to the definition shared by the first speaker a while ago, and he says that environmental stewardship refers to the actions taken by any individual, any group or network. It doesn't have to be a formal group or formal network. It just has to be an action that is set to protect, care for, or responsibly use the environment, to protect also the future of the current and future generations. But in order for us to be environmental stewards, we really have to have a good understanding, a good context, a good perspective of the reality of climate change. In fact, nowadays, we still have a lot of climate deniers or climate change deniers, or people who are hesitant or who do not believe that there is climate change. And it is in our best effort as youth to educate, to open their eyes as well, because first, context really increases our understanding that there is climate change again. And of course, it widens our capacity, and with the help of collaboration and cooperation with other networks, with other groups, other organizations, with other individuals, we produce this action that goes into the outcome of being an environmental steward. So being an environmental steward also relates into meaningful youth involvement and youth participation. In fact, one of the 9 centers of youth participation from the Philippine Youth Development Plan is the environment, focuses on the environment, which states that the youth has to be empowered to take action locally in their community or within the groups to protect for the environment. And this relates to, first of all, expanding our sphere of understanding, our sphere of care from just ourselves, just thinking of ourselves into thinking about others, not just other people, but other living things, other living beings. In fact, in reality, we are part of a big environment, a big ecosystem, such that any of our actions, any of our words, our choices really affects other living things here in this planet. And it will boil down as well when we talk about being an environmental steward to our health and well-being. Again, can you please repeat in the chat what I will say? There can be no healthy people without a healthy planet. So really, personal health and well-being is related to planetary health or the health of our planet. We talk about so much about environmental health, about mental health and well-being. In fact, all of these are very much interrelated. The environment that we move around in, that we exist upon, really influences our health and well-being. For example, the quality of the air that we breathe every day, the quality of the water that we drink and we consume and we use, the food that we consume, even, all boils down to how responsibly we take care and uh, use our environment. In fact, what I always say is that we don't own anything here. We are stewards. It's different. Stewards mean that we are caretakers. We are responsible caretakers of the environment. We do not own resources. We are stewards. We are responsible stewards. Again, there can be no healthy people without a healthy planet. In fact, here in the UN Global Conference of Youth 17, we have an output document called the Global Youth Statement. It is a collection of policy demands and recommendations that the youth around the world have made, which include statements on various topics, for example, on oceans, on water, on loss and damage, on health, on I think climate finance, and all of the other aspects of climate, which are compiled into one document. And as of yesterday, in the closing ceremony, it was presented and endorsed to the government here in Egypt, and also will be presented to the COP presidency here in Egypt. So imagine that, even just by participating in that writing or in lobbying policies, you are an environmental steward. So again, it all boils down to the power of youth, again, in being really an actionable climate advocate, you know. And I just want to congratulate everyone for being here again, joining us, listening to all the speakers. I'm sure that the speakers next after me will have a lot of things to share as well. Despite the limited time, I'm sure that we all have some wonderful insights for all of you. But if you want to connect, I'm always open. In fact, I remember years back, I was in your place, a student, finding out which outlet or platform I can enter into in the climate scene, because the climate advocacy scene is very big. It's very big. It encompasses a lot of topics. We have this multidimensional consequences of climate change, and we have interconnecting themes in climate change. For example, climate and health, climate and food security, climate and oceans, climate and biodiversity, climate and even economics and finance. And the challenge is to find your niche, and to do that, you have to really explore. Don't be afraid to connect and explore, and even message people who are older than you, to really ask for some insights and advice. I myself am a mentor, so I will be opening my doors as well for any of you or for all of you who want to connect and exchange ideas, not just about climate, even about health, youth empowerment, all of the other aspects of sustainable development, and of course, youth empowerment as well. So again, I guess that's the end of my talk. And Congratulations again to everyone. Again, there can be no healthy people without a healthy planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sablay. Honestly, when it came to your presentation, a lot of things struck the audience. I mean, especially the quote, there can be no healthy people without a healthy
Without a
planet.
healthy-
And right?
Yes,
What do you think about
exactly.
Bianca?
I think it's very memorable. I wrote it down as well. I was like, oh, correct. Because our speaker is right. There can be no healthy people without a healthy planet. So we really have to do our best to have a healthy planet and mitigate whatever um, bad things we've already done to our planet.
That's right. Whatever happens to, of course, Earth and, of course, the environment will affect us on a fundamental level. It'll affect even the minor aspects of our health that go into our daily lives. And so, great emphasis on keeping the planet up and running. Now, let's move on to our next presenter. Thank you again for a wonderful presentation, Dr. Sablay. But we'd like to call on Sir James Nyantaki.
Sir James, you have the floor.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Hello. We can hear
Can
you.
hear me? All right.
Oh, Sir James, I believe your mic is a bit faint.
Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yes, much better.
Okay. All right. Good morning to everyone. It's done here. It's 5:51 here in Ghana. So 5:51 a.m. So you can see it's a good morning. All right. So I would like to express my appreciation to Miss Eleanor for this opportunity that she has given to me. I'm very grateful. I also want to say a very big thank you to all the organizers of this program, this honorable program. Very, very grateful. Okay, so building on what other speakers have shared, we can all see that it's a problem that we are all facing now, this climate change issue, and we are stewards, as our first speaker said. And second speaker also mentioned that it should be actionable. Whatever we do to save this planet shouldn't only be lip service. It should be actionable. Should be actionable. Please, can you move to my next slide? All right. So from this slide, you can all see some two pictures. One very nice, one looking not all that nice. Yes, from the first one, which is showing destruction. And we can all say that it's maybe from a natural disaster or a disaster from man. A disaster from man can be a war, like the Russian-Ukraine war. This can be as a result of a war, yeah. And the one that's up there is a very beautiful city in Dubai. It's called Sustainable City. It's a very nice place. I chanced on it when I was doing lots of doing some research on sustainable city. I chanced on this video. This picture and was very nice. I really loved it. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, so I am James Nyantechi. I'm an environmental engineer and a climate change solutionist. I also call myself a green soldier because I am very much passionate about the environment and how we are supposed to save it. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, I'll be able to inspire someone. Yes, that's the main goal. That's the reason why we are all gathered here. Okay, so next slide. So climate change, this issue that we are all facing. What at all is this issue? Climate change is the change in the environmental solutions and conditions of the earth. So whatever change that you see in your environment, so when you move to, we call something baseline conditions. So when you move to your environment, when you move to a new environment, new location, you will see that there is already existing areas that are green, places that are looking very nice. But maybe after staying there for 2 or 3 months or 1 year, you can realize that there will be changes. There will be changes in the environment. You've changed the baseline condition, what you met there when you went there from the beginning. You've changed it. And so that change can be termed as a climate condition. Yes. And it's a change that will affect you one day. Please, next slide. I want to make this point that climate change fight is not only we should say that it's a fight for the world, it's a fight for organizations, big organizations. Yes. But climate change fight is mainly for individuals. I see this fight as fight that must be won at the individual level. So if the individuals are not able to recognize this fight, there'll be no way, or there's no way that we can win this fight. So it is up to us as individuals to say that yes, this fight is for us, it's for all of us. This individual fight is for me. I need to devote myself to make sure that this fight is won. Yes. So what are some of the things that causes this change that we see in the environment? First, I know we all know this, that it's from human activities, what we do in our environment, and also from natural occurrences. Yeah, so from the first slide, I mentioned that the picture that wasn't looking all that good was maybe might come from a natural disaster from maybe volcanic eruption or something, or maybe a tsunami or hurricane or something that can cause this change that we see in the environment. And the changes can also come from humans, what we do in the environment. Please, next slide. Because of time, let's try and speak within this 5-minute period. Okay, so let's look at some of the things that humans we do that affect this environment or affect our climate. So in Ghana, at first, when you come to Ghana, you would see stars, very many stars in the skies when it's around 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. thereabout. You will see many stars in the skies, and it's very, very nice. But now when you come to Ghana around those times, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., those times, I bet you will not see any stars. And this is because of what we are doing as a result of human activities. We can call them industrialization. Yes, what we are doing to make sure we have a comfortable life. That's the result of this climate change. Humans are trying to make life easier for themselves. And they go about it by destroying the baseline condition of the environment. So first activity that I want to talk about is generating power. And so in our olden times, ancient times, there wasn't anything like electricity. There wasn't anything like light or something. But they were using natural means to get light. But now humans are trying to get light in a more sophisticated manner, and that will bring about this climate change that we are seeing. It's not only about light, but something that they need to power a machine. Yes, that's power, generating power. They find ways and means to generate these powers, and these ways make sure that the natural condition or the baseline condition is destroyed. And the second one I want to mention is manufacturing goods and food production. Yes, in the olden times, there used not to be any production company that will produce milk or that will produce processed food for us. Yes, there wasn't anything like that in the ancient times. But now we have so many companies, we have so many industries that are coming up to produce things for us so that we will have our lives made easier. and they go about putting structures in place that will destroy the environment. Yes, yes. So one activity that humans also do to destroy the environment is cutting down trees. Cutting down trees. We cut down trees for so many um reasons that we think that, oh, it's good. Yes, some of those reasons could be maybe um for our books production or something, um producing our chairs, producing our furniture, producing. You might think it's good, you might think it's perfect, yes, but you end up destroying the environment. You end up destroying the baseline condition of the environment, and this actually is what is affecting us now. Next slide.
Oh, hold on, Mr. Nyantaki. I believe the person in charge of this share screen was disconnected from Zoom. So we'll
Okay,
have
so
your next slide up in a bit, but if you'd like to continue your presentation, go ahead,
okay,
Bob.
all right. So transportation. I also want to talk about transportation. What's the human activity? Some human activities that destroy the environment. Transportation. Yes. Now we have lots of cars in the atmosphere, in the world. Lots of cars. People are when someone gets something small, the first thing that person wants to do is to get a car and to move around. In Ghana, when you come here, and when an individual, when a youngster gets some $1 million, he wants to first get a car to move around and then flexing. Um, it's good, it's good, but um, those things are the things that are destroying our environment. They are not making us have protection of the environment made easier. And also, one of the things that destroys the environment is what we consume. With the many things that we consume, yes, humans now are always want to have enough. We are not okay. We always want to get something more. What we have, we want to get abundant in abundance. Yes. So this kind of mindset will always cause us to move from one step to another, and this process will not make us have the environment, will not make us be environment stewards minded. Yes, and please next slide. I don't know. Can you move to the back? Let me see what was there. Was okay. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So the what are some of the evidence of this change? Evidence of this change. Yes. First thing I want to talk about is the change in our rainfall pattern. Rainfall pattern. Now it's not the normal rainfall pattern that we see. There is a total change in the rainfall pattern. When you come to Ghana now, it's like it's always raining every day. It's always raining. We see rain every day. Even yesterday, it's raining in my area. Yes, it's always raining. The rainfall pattern has changed totally, and this is as a result of climate change and the activities that man is doing to affect the climate. And also, we have number of going up, number of hot days per year. It has changed. Yes, we used to have. I've not been to the. Um, I've not moved outside my country before, but I know. They have this summer time and then winter, those periods. But maybe they used to have a period they used to have a period they call summer, and in that period there's a time limit. They might have days. Maybe they know that it lasts for 30 days. This summer period should last for 30 days. Yes, but now because of climate change, the summer period maybe could go above 40 days, maybe 60 days. Abnormal. Yes. And number of cold days too has maybe increased or decreased. Yes, that's this all as a result of climate change. And also the sea level has changed. The sea level has increased due to this climate change issue. Yes, we know that the glacier is melting, and this is causing lot of water to come into the sea, and this causes what we call the sea level rising. And also temperature of air, the temperature of our air has moved up. Yes, and this is as a result of climate change. Okay, because of time, let me move on. I know we know lots of the changes. Hello. Okay, so I think the next slide should be the sustainable city. Please, can you move backwards a bit? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Next slide. Okay, so looking at what I've said so far, some of the activities that are destroying the environment, what is not making our environment so good for us to live in. What then should we do? What then should we look at as stewards? And so I want to talk about what is called the sustainable city or environmental sustainability. And I've said here that sustainability is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. I want to make this statement that sustainability is a lifestyle. Means that it's an everyday thing. Whatever you do every day is encompasses sustainability. So we should take note. Next slide. Okay, so what is sustainable city? Sustainable city meets its current economic, environmental, and social needs without compromising the ability of future generations to do same. So when we look at a sustainable city, they make sure that the economic status, the environmental status, and the social status of the people and the environment of that city is not compromised. Everything is in order. The baseline, they develop the city in such a way that everything is tilting towards saving the environment. Please, next slide. So let's look at some objectives of sustainable city. One I want to mention is a net zero energy development. So from the sustainable city video that I chanced on, which is at Dubai, I would recommend that you go and search for it and then watch this video. It's a very nice video. You will learn a lot from it. You will see that in that city, everything is about reducing energy. It's about meeting this net zero energy goal. They make sure that the energy generation is in order, that will not make the environment destroyed. And also in a sustainable city, you reduce the energy intensity of the city. You make sure that the energy consumption is in such a way that it will not be up high, that it will end up destroying the environment. And also I want to mention that in a sustainable city, we have something we call closed system. This closed system, when we talk about a closed system, it's an area which doesn't give room for external things to come inside, just basically for external things to come inside and for internal things to go outside. So everything that is generated inside is make sure it's dealt with inside that system. So in a sustainable city, whatever activity that is done in that city, talking about waste generation, talking about our generation of power, our everything that we do in the city is done in such a way that we make sure that we treat it, and we don't allow it to go outside our walls to destroy the environment. So you make the city such sustainable. And also you make sure that you have a recycling station or center in the city. So whatever waste that is generated in the system is recycled. And also in a sustainable city, we have something that we call environmental friendly treatment systems. Yes. So I would entreat you to go and watch that video, and we would love it. Next slide. Okay, so I mentioned earlier on that this climate change war is a fight that you will win at individual level. So what are some of the things that individuals we must consider? So this comes to the topic sustainable personality. So an individual should have this mindset that I should have a sustainable personality. A sustainable personality. So a sustainable personality refers to the tangible, visible representation of sustainability of the individual level, at the individual level. It is an action oriented and therefore manifest in character, behavior for patterns of behavior that have served to promote sustainability across multiple contexts. Yeah, so a sustainable personality always thinks about, or a sustainable person always thinks about the ways that he or she should live his life or her life that will make sure that the environment is protected. So as good stewards, we should have in mind that our lives should be sustainable. The clothes that we wear, the foods that we eat, how we prepare our foods, the around our food, our houses, how we protect them, the gardens that we create around our houses, everything around us should be done in such a way that we have the sustainable mindset. Yes. So what are some of the objectives of a sustainable personality? A sustainable personality has a prevention mindset, always wants to prevent the destruction of the environment. All the activities that he or she does is to protect the environment, to prevent that the environment is in good shape. And also, a good or a sustainable personality has this mindset that he or she wants to reduce the effects of climate change. And he or she also wants to reuse activities and reuse things. So when we talk about the reduce, reuse, and recycle, it's about some of the things that we use in our environment, things that we use in our everyday life, which has effects or things that will have effect on the environment. And also, if you have already bought or used anything that has effect on the environment, you can reuse that thing without buying that thing again. Yes. And also you can recycle anything that you have bought or you are using that has gone bad or that has met its lifespan. Yes, you can recycle it and also upcycle. So every sustainable person or individual has this in mind. He always wants to prevent the destruction of the environment. He always wants to make sure that the activities that he or she does, is to reduce the impact of climate change. Next slide. Okay, so these are some areas to achieve sustainability. So we will look at innovation. So we have innovation there, and we have energy and carbon emissions, water efficiency, waste reduction. I talked about waste reduction and work-related travel. So when we talk about the work-related travel, how can you achieve sustainability in this manner? So you make sure that your means of transport, it's done in a way that you either reduce the effect of activities that will destroy the environment. And also, when we move to new places, we must make sure that what we patronize, what we purchase, are things that are eco-friendly. Yes, eco-friendly things, eco-friendly products. So when you come to Ghana, you make sure that all the things that you buy, the products that you buy, they are eco-friendly. You achieve sustainability by doing that. And also, maybe you might want to give some donations. What you give to people should be things that are sustainable. Should be things that will improve the environment. And also biodiversity and the natural environment. Sorry. And then sustainable building designs. Yeah, these are things that we can achieve sustainability. Reporting and measurement, and then empowered staffs. So these are ways of areas that we can achieve sustainability. Next slide, and then we conclude. Next slide. Okay, so we will end with this quote from Ansel Polanyi. He says that, or he said that we have a single mission to protect and hand on the planet to the next generation. So if after this program, I believe you will get a lot of things, you will get a lot of ideas, you will get a lot of information. But even if you are to forget any of the information, please, you should have this in mind that we have a single mission to protect and hand on the planet, this planet Earth, to the next generation, So all the activities, whatever you do, whatever thing you do around you, you should be someone or an individual who is ready and to take the environment into his or her own hands and then protect it like your own child. Yes, it's your child. It's our child. Or yeah. So we should have that in mind, that we have to hand it over in a way that is well protected. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sir James, for that wonderful talk. I, for one, also found it inspiring and will be striving to have a more sustainable personality. How about you, Tony? What did you think about the talk?
Well, I like the emphasis on how it's always possible for us to really reduce emissions in our own simple ways. And again, it's really a call to action for us to really improve our lives for the goal, of course, having a more sustainable and healthy world, right?
Truly. So, all right, thank you once again, Sir James. And now may we call on the next speaker, Mr. Arnes Murao.
Good afternoon. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Here's my slide. Again, good afternoon, my fellow youth. Good afternoon, ASEAN Youth Organization, and welcome to the Environmental Stewardship Forum this afternoon. First and foremost, I will introduce myself. I am Irens Austin Murao, studying history and cognate in geography in University of the Philippines, Diliman, and the current Vice Chairperson of Angat Kabataan ng Pilipinas. Next slide, please. Next slide. The ASEAN Youth Organization gave us only a few minutes to present to you the environmental projects of our organization and its impact. First, Let me introduce to you my organization. What is Angat Kabataan? Angat Kabataan was founded last December 19, 2021. And Angat Kabataan is a socio-civic youth organization with an advocacy on youth rights and development. Aside from these advocacies, we do have different environment projects and forums that I will discuss later. No, earlier speakers, Dr. Sablay and Mr. Dan Renner, talks about environmental actions. That's why I will present to you some of our environmental actions and projects uh, for the community as well as for the environment. Next slide, please. In Angat Kabataan, yon, aside from our social civic activities like gift giving, palugaw, aside from giving school supplies to elementary school student, we do have Angat Kabataan para sa Kalikasan. And this project has two sub-projects and we call it, next slide, we call it Mantika-Bataan and Barangay Partnership regarding the Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2001. Okay, next slide. What is Mantika-Bataan? Mantika-Bataan is one of the sub-project of Angat Kabataan para sa Kalikasan. We do understand that clogged drainages caused by grease o yung mga in Filipino grasa, mga nabuong mantika are one of the problems here in Metro Manila. Grease trap is not commonly used in ordinary households in the Philippines. That's why the used cooking oil directly goes to from the household to drainage system, to creek, to rivers, and then to ocean. Kaya nga laging nagbabaha sa Espanya, sa Taft, sa Padre Faura, sa Katipunan. Yan, no? Next slide. Yan. Next slide. Yan. The volunteers and members of our organization, together with our partner organization like Park 7, Daan Tubo, Meritown, Ronas Garden, etc., collect the used cooking oil in different households and sell it to Green Ecotech Philippines. The Green Ecotech Philippines used cooking oil, used that cooking oil to make fuels and animal feeds. The proceeds of the program will go to the educational assistance of the serving students in some depressed communities here in Quezon City. Yun. Also, the Green Ecotech collect used cooking oil in some areas like Malabon, Imu, San Pedro, Carmona, Santa Rosa. Next slide. In this project, we actually in Mantika Bataan, we hit two birds with one stone because we help the environment. At the same time, we also help some deserving students in their education. Next slide. Yan. Yeah. The second is Barangay Partnership in implementing the Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Program of 2001. We do educational forums, educational discussions, and some community projects in some communities here in Quezon City. Next slide. Yan. In these educational forums and discussions, we discuss environmental management, Republic Act. We elaborate the Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management. Tapos we discuss basura mo, ihiwalay mo, and solid waste management in different youth formation, in different samahan ng mga magkakapit-bahay, in different barangay here in Quezon City, also here in Metro Manila. We do understand that the garbage problem and segregation problem are one of the biggest problems in the Philippines. The landfills in Payatas, Montalban, San Mateo, and Nabotas will be full in the near future. That's why we want to help to implement RA 9003, because the implementation of this program will help the proper recycling and disposal of our own waste. Next. Furthermore, in our community project, one of the community projects of our organization is the co-organizing of the Hiyas ng Kalikasan 2022 together with Kasama Ka and Barangay Loyola Heights Committee on Ecological and Solid Waste Management. To give you context, pageantry is very popular in the Philippine society. We do have different beauty pageants in different cantos, in different barangays, in different municipios, in different cities. That's why we use this venue to educate and to raise the awareness of the youth in proper waste segregation. In this project, each candidate in this pageant has undergone some environmental seminars, and they need to do some environmental projects because these are part of the criteria in winning the crown. We call it environmental and advocacies. No, actually, we plan many environmental project in the future, and so far this is our accomplishment for the past years. Thank you for listening, and sana may mapulot din na idea yung ibang mga youth organization dito sa project na aming nilulunsad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir Arnes, for that wonderful presentation. I personally liked how you conformed the projects to make it for the public to like it, like the beauty pageants, and to give them more educational talks, especially here in the Philippines. I feel like not a lot of people are educated in how to correctly segregate their trash and the importance of things like grease traps when cooking. How about you, Tony? What did you learn from the talk?
I really enjoyed and found it very insightful of how a lot of these projects are very accessible to anyone from any demographic or any social group in society, which is of course very important because fixing the environment is something that everyone in society has to be involved in. And seeing that these projects are of course very accessible to the youth and even to other generations, it's really nice to see. But I believe of course we can move on to our next speaker.
All right, yes. So thank you very much once again to our speaker, and let's move on to Mr. Chito Areza Jr. So the floor is yours, sir.
Hello, am I audible ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will be sharing my screen now. Okay, there we go. Kita naman po ba? Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Chito Arceo Jr. So, I'm here to talk about youth and climate justice, individuality, and intersectionality. And what's really amazing for me so far is napaka-diverse ng group of people na nagsalita so far. And I think that it just goes to show kung gaano ka-intersectional yung climate crisis right now, why we need people from different sectors of society to really help us understand kung ano bang kinakaharap natin sa climate crisis ngayon, and more importantly, why we as members of the youth should be involved. So just a bit of an outline. So I think 5 minutes ang binigay, pero I'm gonna go through them very quick. So papakilala muna ako, and then we'll talk about individuality and intersectionality, and lastly, we'll talk about using climate justice. So I am Chito Arceo Jr., a second-year BA Anthropology student at UP Diliman. I am currently the National Education Coordinator of Youth Advocates for Climate Action Philippines. I was formerly the Regional Coordinator for YAKAP North and Central Luzon, and I attended COP26 last year in Glasgow, Scotland, representing YAKAP and Fridays for Future. And I'm also the ROU president, and the Antodep rep to the CSSP student council. So, ayun, individuality really talks about parang what do we really fight for when we come into terms sa mga kinakaharap natin dito sa climate crisis. As some of the speakers have mentioned earlier, no, there are a lot of sectors involved when it comes to the climate crisis. Si I think Dr. Lawrence kanina, all about health, and then one of the other speakers as well, more on sustainability. And I think that diversity is very much needed when it comes to our fight for climate justice. So for me, I advocate for a local cause, which is the rehabilitation of the Angeles watershed and application of anthropology and more so the social sciences in general when it comes to the climate context. It's something that's not really talked about enough when it comes to the climate crisis, and it's something that should be talked about. And of course, climate justice and youth empowerment. So first, this is my local advocacy actually, and I'm glad to share it to you sa platform nito. So I live in Angeles City, Pampanga, and we have a watershed nearby that is actually encompassing different provinces as well. So it's this mountainous area that has been heavily affected by Mount Pinatubo's eruption back in 1991. And we're trying our best to revive it kasi our city is being so urbanized by the day that our water sources are depleting, our water resources rather. And it's something that we planned on doing, this rehabilitation, in order for us to adapt and mitigate to the effects of climate change. More so, para mas matugunan namin yung kinakaharap naming water crisis ngayon sa area namin. And hopefully na rin, no, to inspire others and to make people understand why watersheds are important, why we need these green spaces that we have right now, especially the ones na sobrang on the way to being urbanized or being commercialized, why we need to preserve these spaces and how they can help us in our fight for climate justice. So, next one, anthropology and climate change. So, I think for some people, baka hindi pa na-reconcile yung idea of why are the social sciences needed when it comes to the climate change, or rather when it comes to talks about climate change. It's because the intersectional approach really requires analysis from different facets and different sectors of society. And who better to talk about these different facets than the people who understand and talk about society themselves? So in anthropology, we study humans, and we have this concept called the anthropogenic climate change, wherein scientists themselves, from the IPCC, have affirmed that we humans have caused a considerable part of the crisis that we're facing right now. So it is important that people who study humans get to talk about the implications of what we do and what we face in our everyday lives for us to understand. So in anthropology, we interpret climate change through local contexts. We also use local knowledge, culture, political positioning, cultural analysis, and theory in order to supplement our ideas of what constitutes the climate crisis and how we can really help solve it. So this leads me to intersectionality. So why do we need intersectionality? Why not let the climate experts, di ba? Parang let's just leave it there. Parang bakit hindi na lang yung mga environmental stewards, kumbaga, bakit hindi na lang sila yung bahala? Well, it's because wala namang pinipiling biktima ang krisis ng klima. So an intersectional analysis of climate change illuminates how different individuals and groups relate differently to climate change. And this is important kasi lahat tayo apektado ng climate crisis. And if we could have more perspectives from the different things that are happening to our climate right now, if we become more inclusive of the conversations that we are having, then we can assure that more people are represented when we talk about climate policies, when we talk about solutions that are long-lasting and for the people and for the planet. So when you talk about intersectionality, you talk about different sectors, how the climate crisis affects health, how the climate crisis affects gender, of course, how it affects farmers, workers, laborers, fishermen, people who are really at the heart of the crisis but have no idea that they're there. And more importantly then, bilang this is a youth event, we are members of the youth, no? One of the broadest sectors of society that needs to be united. There is a reason why we're here. And we come from different backgrounds, we come from different areas, we come from different places. And if we all work together to contribute to sa mga perspectives na pwede natin mabigay, then we can really ensure that our solutions, no, are rooted in the problems and the experiences of the people. So what is climate justice? No, I think people have a general idea naman of what climate crisis and what climate justice is all about. Pero just a refresher, this is what we use in YAKA. So it is the accountability from people and entities who are most responsible for climate change. So ayun, the main polluters kasi, di ba? We have our main polluters in a sense that looking back historically, there's always been countries and there's always been corporations at the forefront of the climate crisis in a sense that these polluters have polluted more than the rest of the world. So currently we have the United States and also, or rather China as the biggest polluter, pero historically since the start of the Industrial Revolution, it's been the United States. And this is a data, or rather this is a graph actually on the data when it comes to carbon emissions around the world. So this was in 2020. And as you can see, the Philippines is nowhere to be found. It's actually at the rest of the world. So, ayun. And I think that when people talk about the climate crisis, they don't talk about collective action enough, and that's what we want to emphasize really with climate justice. It's that when you think of individual solutions and when you think of individuals really trying to solve the climate crisis, it's important that we assert our action into something bigger. In a sense na we need to collect these actions, quote unquote, para mas maging powerful yung mga solutions na ginagawa natin. So we need to hold these people and these entities accountable. Entities that include companies and corporations that, between 1988 and 2015, only 100 companies were responsible for 71% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So these are gas and oil companies, fossil fuels. So Saudi Aramco, Gazprom, Chevron, Exxon, and the National Iranian Oil Company. And when you compare that to individual consumption, only the richest 10 are responsible for 50% of all greenhouse gas emissions. And looking at the other side naman, parang the first 50% are responsible for only 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions. So where does this lead us? So we have this concept of the common but differentiated responsibility in a sense that we all have a responsibility, when it comes to the climate crisis, pero it's a bit different, for all of us. So as we've said earlier, historically, corporations, countries that are in the global north, that are in the interests of the people in the global north, have been the ones who are really, parang pushing us forward in this crisis. So people in the global south, people in areas that are most affected by the climate crisis, somehow sa kanila pa rin, or rather sa atin pa rin, bilang Philippines is one of the most affected, napupunta ang burden. And that's something that we want people to understand. Now, while we have this responsibility, the burden shouldn't be entirely on us, bilang mga individuals, there's only so much that our power can do. That's why it's very much important that we really fight for collective action more so than individual action. While reduce, reuse, recycle is it can help. Having a zero waste lifestyle is important. It's also important for us to analyze on a bigger picture. This is where the social sciences come in. When you look at our history, when you look at economics, when you look at the way our system right now shapes the world that we live in, you realize that individuals shouldn't be the ones blamed for the climate crisis. Not because we don't have anything to do about it, but because there are corporations and there are entities, there are countries who are more responsible for the climate crisis. And these companies, these entities are the ones that we should be asking for help. We should be calling them out, that they have this responsibility, just like we all do. Pero there's a significantly larger. It's not really passing on the blame, but more so contextualizing our emissions so far and how our powers, as individuals and as a collective, can really be used for the better. And for the last part, I just like to talk about system change, not climate change. One of the things that we fight for in Yakap. So as I've said earlier, we talked about individuality, that in a sense, no, lahat naman tayo dito, we have our individual fights. We have the sectors that we fight for when it comes to the climate crisis, and we can all relate them to what we continuously fight for, our advocacies. Pero that does not mean na, na dun lang tayo. But at the same time, we don't really discredit them. Pero it's not the solution that we need. We really need an overhaul of the system that is profit-based, that is profit-oriented. It's something that will take generations and generations to overcome. Pero it's something that we should learn about now so that people realize that beyond the individual implications of the climate crisis, there is something more talaga that that meets the eye. There is the bigger picture of the climate crisis. There are reasons systematically, and hierarchically, I think that's the right word, kung bakit nandito tayo sa situation na yon. And the earlier we realize that, the better we understand what the climate crisis really is all about. And the better we get to see kung ano ba talagang mga perspectives ang kailangan natin i-include in order for us to have pro-people rather and pro-planet solutions. So that's it for today. Once again, I've been Chito from Yakap, and I hope you learned something from my presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arceo Jr. Now, I gotta say, it was actually very inspiring to hear about how a lot of the corporations need, of course, to be held accountable, because it's very true that their actions are one of the bigger factors impacting the environment and, of course, climate change. So the concept of climate justice is one that is definitely interesting and hopefully will be explored by, of course, future generations, maybe even lawmakers and politicians, right, Bianca?
Truly. So it's really our responsibility to hold these big companies accountable, as they are one of the bigger contributors to what's happening to our planet.
Of course, and that concludes all of our speakers' presentations. Let's give a warm virtual applause to all of them. Thank you very much to our wonderful speakers, and to those of you who have just joined us recently, a warm welcome to everyone.
All right, now we can open the floor for our quick panel discussion. With that, may we please ask the speakers to please share their answers in a concise manner so that everyone may get a chance to speak, and that anyone and everyone has the choice to answer the question or not. All right, so the first question, I believe, will be flashed on screen.
Yep, let's have the first question. Hopefully our panelists are ready, and there we go.
All right, so first question. Can you share some insight regarding the main threats of climate change? So any of our wonderful speakers can answer.
Hello to our speakers. Would anyone like to answer the question first?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, Sir James. Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to say that what I have seen here is the ignorance of the people. One thing that is affecting climate change is the ignorance of the people, and even those who know about climate change don't want to believe it exists. So the biggest threat we have now is ignorance and not believing climate change exists. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Sir James. Would any of our other speakers like to answer the question?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Renner, go ahead, please.
Okay. One of the biggest threats I see to to climate change is honestly the lack of true data. You get data from one side of activists, you get data from the other side of activists, and nobody knows what's actually true. That is a major, major threat, because if you don't know the true data, you can't handle the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Renner. I think our speakers' answers go hand in hand, no? Ignorance and
Information, yes.
and information.
Data, yes. It goes to show that having the facts on hand is very important when it comes to climate change. So nice to see that our speakers are in line, in tune when it comes to that aspect. Would any of our other speakers like to answer?
I think just to add lang siguro what Sir James and Sir Dan have said. So, more on ignorance and information. I think this can all be alluded then to a lack of climate education, in the sense that our frameworks really haven't supported the siguro the quote unquote right education. Kung mapapansin natin, no, I think there are a lot of students here, if I'm not mistaken. Pero I think when we talk about the climate crisis and climate change in schools, it's very surface level, in a sense that people don't really see the urgency behind climate change. So there's not parang walang initiative to really act upon it, and it stems from a lack of framework when it comes to our climate education, especially as one of the most affected areas in the world when it comes to climate change. I really think that we have a lot to work on when it comes to tackling the climate change from the roots down. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chito, for your answer.
Of course,
yes.
Sorry, sorry. I just want to say that education is honestly a very important aspect of the matter regarding climate change, and hopefully it does improve. But you're right, Bianca. Let's see if our other speakers also want to give their answers. Anyone else? Any of our other speakers? If not,
maybe we can move on to our next question.
That's right.
All right. The second question is, how specifically has your project, role, or advocacy helped in improving the environmental landscape?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Ayan. Go ahead, sir.
Yun. Since our project ay nagsisimula pa lang, siguro kayang mabago ng mga maliliit na project pero pinagsama-sama ng iba't ibang mga organization yung environmental landscape sa kasalukuyang konteksto. Kasi tulad ng sabi ni Sir Dan Renner na walang parang pinaka-concrete na data, ganyan. Tapos sabi rin kanina walang urgency, ganun. Kahit na siguro simulan natin tulad ng pagsisimula namin sa mga maliliit na bagay. Simulan natin sa mga maliliit na project, kahit na dun sa pinaka-basic na sector sa lipunan natin. Simulan natin sa pamilya natin, pagsasegregate ng basura, tapos simulan din natin sa pinaka-basic sector ng government sa Pilipinas, sa barangay level. Kahit doon muna natin simulan yung mga projects natin at lalaki yun. Doon natin mababago yung landscape ng kalikasan.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Truly, I agree with you, sir, that starting small, even in our own families and our communities, in our barangays, can still make a difference, no?
That's true. And it really goes to show that even on a local level, every individual's part is, of course, very important, especially when it comes to climate change. Now, would any of our other speakers like to add on to that or answer the question?
I have an answer for the question. I don't know if I could answer that one.
All right, let's hear it. Mr. Renner, we'd love to hear your answer.
All right. I helped to form the company known as Engine EcoPhils. We're incorporated here in the Philippines. I think we did that back in February of 2020, right before the pandemic, right before the lockdowns. Yay! All right. So what we're doing is we're creating an efficiency where one does not exist currently. What a lot of people don't understand is there's a couple different kinds of pollution that you can have. One is a poisonous pollution, and one is just inefficiently using something, anything. You know, you can use too much soap, as happens a lot. Too much soap and flush the rest of it down into the water system, which unfortunately here in the Philippines means right into the rivers. So what we're doing is we're taking an inefficient form of transportation or power or what have you, which is internal combustion engine. And any original equipment manufacturer, if they're honest with you, they'll let you know that, yeah, these engines only burn about 65% of the fuel that you pump into them, which means the rest of what comes out is raw fuel. Now, unfortunately, raw fuel is highly poisonous. You cannot breathe gasoline fumes and survive for very long. It just isn't going to happen. So what we're doing is we're drastically reducing the amount of pollution in the form of PM 2.5, in the form of CO2, in the form of all the other GHGs, greenhouse gases. But we're also reducing the amount of poison in the air. So that's what we're doing.
Well, thank you for the insight, Mr. Renner. It's actually great to see that with the projects and of course the company that you've set up here, you are of course helping us here make quite the difference when it comes to, of course, improving the environmental landscape.
Thank you.
Yes, innovation in helping us go green.
Of course. Would any of our other speakers like to answer the question as well before we move on?
Okay, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, with my organization, Climate Change Crusaders, and we are into education. For now, we started with social media, broadcasting, and then that's basically what we are doing now. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, we are on YouTube. So we are using these channels to broadcast information about climate change and empowering and inspiring people to take the responsibility to protect the environment. So that's what we are doing, and as Climate Change Crusaders. Yes, and we are encouraging everyone to take up this fight, because it's for all of us to fight, not for any huge company or any huge organization. It's individual level. So if we have this mindset, this will be won. I'm also with an environmental services company called Enviro Waste Recyclers. We are into the collection. First, we are into segregation and the collection of waste, and then we make sure we upcycle and recycle some of them. Yes. So basically, that's what we are doing now. That's what I'm into now. Yes. And I think this is impacting a lot of people. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sir James. And I remember you said in your talk a while ago that this is a fight at the individual level. So I think you reaffirmed that statement in that we ourselves need to do our best to be aware of what everyday things we do that affect and attribute to climate change.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And of course, we did mention how education is definitely an important factor when it comes to fighting climate change. So it's nice to see that, among other things, Climate Change Crusaders is, of course, helping with environmental education. Now, Would any of our other speakers like to answer as well, or will we move on to the next one?
I think I'll answer na lang din. Very quickly.
Of course.
Earlier, I talked about yung community namin and the watershed rehabilitation, and I think it's something that really needs to be talked about on a national level as well. I do think it's one of the biggest parang weapons natin against climate change, especially in the Philippines, no? In an area, parang in a country kung saan very rich tayo in biodiversity. It's something that we really need to work on kasi uh, there are people no, at the heart of these watersheds. There is the rich biodiversity that is here, and if we continue to preserve these, no, these are our natural defenders. No? I think I think nung isa sa mga dumaang bagyo, we talked about the power of the Sierra Madre. And I think that's just one of the many watersheds we have in the country that could really help us in improving the environment, in improving the environmental landscape. And if we continue to promote watershed rehabilitation and conservation, that could really help us in the long run.
All right, thank you so much for the answer, and it does of course make sense, and it it shows that there is a lot that we have to really work on when it comes to improving the environmental landscape. But of course, it's definitely a fight that we're still fighting. Now, I believe we can have. Was that all of our speakers, or would anyone else like to add on their answers? If not, I believe we can move on to the next question then.
Yes, I think this is as well our last question for the
All right.
panel discussion.
Okay, so the question is, as a collective, what can we do to help mitigate climate change or become good stewards of the environment? And any of our speakers can go first, of course.
I'll go first here. So, una, I think I have emphasized the importance of collective action earlier. And it's because ito talaga yung pinaka main solution natin in a sense that number one, we have to demand accountability from large-scale polluters. No, we've had small victories before in Yakap when we called out the Standard Chartered Bank for still continuously funding fossil fuels, and they've told us since na they've turned up, parang they've toned down on that. And at the same time, aside from demanding accountability, it's also important for us to really connect, no? Expand our networks, and make sure that when we create alliances with people from all over the world in different sectors and different areas, we ensure that their voices are being heard. So that when we create solutions and when we create policies that are uh, that are serving for the people and the planet, we really ensure that we are inclusive of everyone's needs and we consider the problems that everyone is facing. And as a collective, that's what we can do, even on a small scale, no? Even in our community, maraming mga people from different areas that we can really tap and we can really work together para magkaroon ng solutions that are for the people and for the planet.
Well, it is as they say, teamwork makes the dream work, of course. And I'd say that building connections and demanding accountability from large entities as a collective is definitely one way on how we can have a major impact when it comes to becoming good stewards for the environment. Thank you so much. Now, we'd like to hear from our other speakers on this last question.
Hello.
Okay.
So I would say that the education should be more. There should be more and more for the education, the climate change education, environmental education, and the sustainability development goals education. Yes, it should be more. So at the Climate Change Crusaders, we've started as a founder, we've started talking to university HODs, dean of students, and whole lots to start Climate Change Crusaders Club in the universities, and to make sure that everyone gets to hear about climate change from the universities. And at with time, we move down to the secondary schools and then the primary level. But once we start with the university, then we will have the education spread from there.
Truly, thank you, Sir James. Truly, education is so important for us to learn and know about what's happening around the world in terms of climate change, how our environment is being affected. And yes, it's truly important.
Yeah, sometimes it all starts from there. Now, would any of our other speakers like to answer?
Sure.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. Yes.
Okay. The first part of my answer, a lot of people are not going to like. And sorry, I'll just spit it out. As far as changing, effect of mitigating climate change, I'm sorry, but the blunt answer is you can't. Climate will never stabilize or stay the same. If you look at the history of the last 65 million years of this Earth, climate has always changed. Now, can we do something about the pollution that's being spit out into our environment? Oh yeah, we can all do something about that. In fact, it's our job to do something about that. Whether you take it on or not, it's still our job. We live here, it's ours. So, as I mentioned before, find an area that interests you, do something about it. What motivates you? What makes you, get angry, get excited, get emotional, get whatever? What makes you react? But then do something about that. And that will help make this planet a better place for you and me and everybody else to live in.
Very interesting take on the situation with the climate and, of course, the emphasis on action, Mr. Renner. Thank you so much for your insights. Then I believe we can also hear from Sir Irens Morao.
Sa fourth question now.
Oh, this is
our
last
last
question.
questions.
Okay. Yun, nabanggit nga kanina ng isang speaker yon tungkol sa collective action o yung sama-samang pagkilos. No? Siguro yung collective action, isa siya sa magagamit nating weapon para ma-mitigate itong climate change. Tapos syempre kailangan maging innovative din tayo bilang mga youth, bilang isang kolektiba ng mga kabataan para magkaroon ng isang certain na kasagutan or certain na solution para sa lumalalang pag-rise ng temperature, lumalalang pag-rise ng sea level, etc. Ganun. At bilang tayo yung 100% na hope ng ating nation, na tayo rin yung magmamana nitong ating society, talagang yung kolektiba ng mga kabataan, ito yung merong mataas na role sa pagbibigay ng solusyon para ma-mitigate yung climate change. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Irens, for the wonderful insights. And I believe that with all of the ideas from our different speakers, we definitely have a better perspective on what to do when it comes to being good stewards of the environment, right, Bianca?
Yes, truly. So that was the end of our panel discussion. Once again, I would like to thank all the speakers for sharing their valuable insights and perspectives during this portion. So now we will move on.
But I gotta say, before we get things rolling along, Bianca, that was quite the session, right? All the presentations.
Yes, Oh my goodness, I learned so much. I took down notes so I will be able to remember everything that was said a while ago.
That's right. So to all of our Facebook Live viewers and of course, those inside the Zoom session, please comment down below in the chat box or of course on Facebook, your top takeaways from our panel discussion. And maybe we'll try to read some of them, maybe even later on. So with that said, we'd now like to show our appreciation to our beloved speakers by presenting the certificates of appreciation. May we please call on Ms. Eleanor Oberio, advisor of the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, to present the certificates of appreciation. All right, so I believe we'll wait for one of our tech team to unmute Ms. Eleanor. In the meantime, let's actually have our insights from our different audience members. We went over a lot of ideas, facts, and insights. Oh, hold on. I believe Ms. Eleanor is here now.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, Ms.
Yes, we
Eleanor.
can.
Okay. On behalf of the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to all our inspiring guest speakers. Would you please share the slides? This certificate is proudly presented to Dr. Alex Reyes for sharing her valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the Environmental Stewardship Forum on November 5, 2022, organized by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines. Signed by Justin Hogoshun, CEO and Chair, ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, Eleanor Oberio, Advisor, and Jaime Lu de la Serna, Head of the Online Academy of ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines. Next slide, please. We would like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Dan Renner for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the Environmental Stewardship Forum on November 5, 2022, organized by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, signed by Justin Hogoshun, Eleanor Oberio, and Jaime Lu de la Serna. Next slide, please. And we would like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. James Niantaki for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the Environmental Stewardship Forum on November 5, 2022, organized by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, signed by Justin Hogoshun, Eleanor Oberio, and Jaime Lu de la Serna. Next slide, please. And we would like to present this Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Irens Morao for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the Environmental Stewardship Forum on November 5, 2022, organized by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, signed by Justin Hogoshun, Eleanor Oberio, and Jaime Lu de la Serna. And next slide, please. And finally, this certificate is proudly presented to Dr. Lorenzo Sablay for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the Environmental Stewardship Forum on November 5, 2022, organized by the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines, signed by Justin Hogoshun, CEO and Chair, Eleanor Oberio, Advisor, and Jaime Lu de la Serna, Head of the Online Academy of the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines. Thank you to all our guest speakers, and back to you, Bianca and Tony.
All right, thank you so much. Now we'd like to ask everyone to please smile, especially for our speakers, as we'll be having a bit of a picture taking, yes, to commemorate the event. So we'll just, yeah, that's right, picture taking for, of course, everyone. So to our
Please
speakers.
turn on your camera.
Yes, exacto mundo. We want to see those lovely smiles from everyone, of course.
Those beautiful faces. Okay, check on your signal.
Okay, sorry, hold on. Okay, if everyone is ready, I'll start taking the photos. I think I have 4 pages. So just keep on smiling until we're done with the photo taking. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Smile, smile, smile.
Okay, so done. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, tech team.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. It was nice seeing you all. Now I believe we can move on.
Yes, so we would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our valued event partners for making this event a huge success, namely, Angat Kabataan ng Pilipinas, Climate Change Crusaders, Elford Creative Publishing, Elford Training System, Engine EcoPhils Incorporated, Global Filipino Channel Plus, Green Ecotech Philippines, August Shun Foundation, Rotary Club of Philanthropic Entrepreneurs, Rotaract Club of Philanthropic Entrepreneurs, Outbox Labs, United Nations Youth Association of the Philippines, and Yes Tech IT Solutions.
We'd also like to thank the Far Eastern University Central Student Council, the San Beda Student Council, St. Jude Catholic School Student Council, the BOSUN, the Philippine Society of Sanitary Engineers Mapua University Student Chapter, the University of Santo Tomas Junior High School Student Council, the Philippine Association of Environmental Science Students, the LPU Manila Central Student Government, Kahalili, the Lasallian, Forest Foundation Philippines, Malaya, the Conscious Club, and last but not least, Nextile PH. And remember to use the code NEXT100 for 100 pesos off your purchase when you shop on at nextile.ph. Now, the code is NEXTY100, all of them in all caps, via Shopee. Now, a copy of the e-voucher will be sent to all the participants who pre-registered for today. But of course, let's enjoy a bit of an advert from Nextile PH first and foremost. Okay, I thank you once again to all of our valued event partners and of course our guest speakers for sharing your time with us. And thanks as well to the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines organizing team headed by our project director, Pauline Cortez, and assisted by Juran Ursal, and of course to all of our moderators. Now to our participants, we wouldn't be able to make it without you. There cannot be an event without participants, of course. Now, please do note that the certificates, along with a copy of the group photo, will be sent to your emails after the event. Now, thank you very much to our esteemed speakers who have graced us with your time, your knowledge, and of course, your expertise. You are now all free to leave the Zoom call. Take care and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, thank you to our speakers. And thank you everyone for a very informative Environmental Stewardship Forum and a lively discussion about how we can all work together to protect our planet. Now, for those viewing via Facebook Live,
this is, of course, unfortunately, where the event will be wrapping up, or at least for those on the Facebook Live stream. Now, for those who will still be sticking around, just hold on for a bit. I believe you guys can get a bit of water. This is the time to hydrate. That's right. Deflate after a lot of the information that may be a bit heavy on your minds, right, Bianca?
Yeah, so take this time a bit to process everything. If you want to write down something so you don't forget, and I just want to say thank you once again for all those watching us via Facebook Live. Also, for everyone, don't forget to follow our Facebook pages, a Facebook page at ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines for updates regarding how to join ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines. And please watch out for more upcoming courses, trainings, and events.
All right. So with all that said, to those of you who are still on the call, the Zoom call, I mean, please do stick around as we'll be having a breakout session. Stand by, and I believe it's good for you guys to get some water in preparation. Maybe even get a snack to eat, right? Right. So we are just setting up the breakout rooms, but for everyone, please do stick around. Well, in the meantime, for those of you who are, of course, still in the Zoom call, how are you all feeling after that session? Are there any insights that you guys really want to take home? Is there anything that really surprised you and everything? Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, feel free to raise your hand and we'll call you if you want to unmute, or maybe if you want to say it in the chat as well.
All right. Now, while you guys are, of course, getting ready to share your insights with us, Bianca, I believe it's time for us to go over the rules and the process of the breakout rooms.
Yes, exactly. Maybe I can explain those. Okay.
All right, of course.
So now the incoming breakout rooms will be grouped randomly and will run for 15 minutes. This will give the chance for everyone to share their thoughts and opinions about the session. After the breakout room session, we will close the event have picture taking and the evaluation feedback form link, which you will need to accomplish in order to be entitled to our e-certificate, will be sent in the chat as well.
All right. Thank you so much for the explanation, Bianca. We'll be assigning you all to your breakout rooms, and we encourage our participants to please be respectful and to, of course, engage in conversation and discussion within the next 15 minutes. So enjoy, everyone.
Enjoy, everyone.
We'll see you guys back here later. Hello, guys. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll just get all of this fixed and you'll be moved to your breakout rooms manually. So just stand by. In the meantime, yeah, I believe it is, of course, high time for everyone to rest, relax, and of course, get your brains ready for an insightful discussion and conversation.
Truly. So while waiting, if you wanna think about your answers already, since the questions are here, what your favorite event was, what your thoughts are, go ahead.
Hi, Johaira and Marvin. Could you please go to your breakout rooms now, or if it's okay with you guys?